And as the coronavirus continues to spread through the U.S., employees might be asked to work from home. It's happening more and more frequently. Yesterday, Bill talked with an expert about this very topic. Here's that conversation.
The virtual workforce is becoming a viable option these days. Employees and managers have to interact in a collaborating working environment. Joining us by Skype this morning is Linda Garib, a staffing expert for a national company, to talk about the new normal for workers. Hey, Linda, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
So we do, and this has changed very quickly now, and this is my first Skype interview, so obviously this is kind of different for us, but it is also what has to be right now. What are the benefits of all of this for people that are working at home?
Yeah, I think, in light of everything that has transpired the last couple of weeks, companies have had to really look at, do they have a remote work program in place? And if they haven't, they've really had to institute one, fairly quickly, just to make sure that their employees are able to work remotely, but can be just as productive. From an employee standpoint, the benefits to the employees is working from home allows them to, first and foremost, be safe, especially in these uncertain times. And it allows them to continue to be productive and, do hopefully, if not all, the majority of their work remotely. It also allows them, especially through technology, to stay in touch with their coworkers, with their supervisors. A lot of companies right now are doing virtual meetings, whether it be via Skype, via Zoom, via Instant Messenger, just to keep in touch with their employees. And from a cost benefit perspective, they don't have to worry about commuting costs, so that saves a little bit of money, and it certainly saves them some time as well.
Years ago when the conference call first became a thing, it was like, this is kind of strange, but then we all got used to it. That is the normal now, so we've taken it to another level now. What can employers do to help these folks who are working from home?
Yeah, from an employer perspective, I think employers have to think about a couple of different things. I think, first and foremost, employers have to really look at, do they have the proper protections in place as far as their network is concerned? Do they have the proper security measures in place so their employees can access their systems remotely? Do they have the proper firewall protections? But then in addition to that, they've got to really also think about, how will they stay connected with their employees? Again, whether it's through virtual meetings, whether it's through regularly scheduled, phone calls. It is important during, situations like this that, they don't disconnect with their employees, and they try to keep as much of a sense of normalcy as possible as far as, set meetings still taking place, but obviously now taking place virtually. And the good news in all of that is a number of employers the last couple of years have seen an increase in the amount of their employees that work remotely. So it is not as foreign of a concept to people as maybe it was once upon a time.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to get used to this. Let's talk a little bit about, I think you mentioned some of the drawbacks, the security part of it. Here at work, my coworker Jessica is saying, I've got to fix up my backdrop at home. I got to make sure that looks good, and the lighting and all of that. Obviously, these are superficial things, but for the employee, do they really need to look at this and figure out how they want to kind of, as we would say in TV, frame themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, employees really have to think about the fact that, okay, even though they are working from home, especially if they're having virtual meetings, are they properly dressed for those meetings? Are they, ready for other people to see them on video? And right, what does the backdrop look like? Are there distractions? They also have to make sure that they're maybe in a quieter space. So my suggestion to people is, since this is going to be a reality for more and more employees, you really want to set up a space in your house that is going to be your dedicated workspace. If you have an office at home, that's obviously great, but a lot of people don't. So if you don't have an office, what is going to be your dedicated workspace? And you want to make sure that that space is, clear of distractions, and it's a place where you can really focus and interact with your peers or your supervisors, especially via video.
All right, one last quick question because we're running out of time. You mentioned supervisors. How do you kind of manage folks remotely? There's a different thing.
Yes, yes. I mean, for supervisors, you have to first and foremost, I think about what are your goals and what are your expectations of your employees that are working remotely, and make sure you're communicating those goals and expectations to them. In addition to that, you want to make sure you're, again, staying connected and checking in with your employees, but you have to be careful not to micromanage them just because you're not seeing them, day in and day out through and having constant updates in terms of what they're doing. And then you also have to, just be supportive. I mean, people are feeling a lot of anxiety in this time, so you have to just be supportive, make sure you understand what's happening with your employee, and just try to stay as connected with them as you possibly can.
Thank you.
Again, via video or via regular phone calls.
You did a great job. Your set behind you looks great. And thanks for taking a moment with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, for more information, please visit us online at WTVR.com/VTM. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.